Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols, and I'm here to bring you your Nichols Worth, and today from Holman, we have the CSB verse-by-verse Pastor's Bible. So I want to show you a few things about both Pastor's Bibles. One of them I pointed out in the previous video. I actually had my Pastor's Bible rebound by AE Bibles, who did a great job. I'll put all of this in the video description so that you can check it out. But when you go to the Pastor's Bible, one thing you'll notice is that it is the same thing as the CSB single column wide margin minus the accents. So it's laid out the same, it's even paginated the same up until the Psalms. Once you get to the Psalms, at the end of the Psalms, you have your wedding ceremonies and funerals and various pastoral helps. And then when you get to the end, you have your pastoral care articles that have different leadership aspects and biblical theology and things like that. Then you have your concordance and your maps. So now let's take a look at what they did with the verse by verse. Okay, this is part of the Holman Handcrafted Collection. This is the CSB wide margin single column, and it does have a bit of a stiffer cover, mostly because it has a stiffer liner and a bit of a stiffer goatskin. So now let's take a look at the new verse by verse Pastor's Bible, and I'll show you where you've seen this layout before as well, because they did the same thing. Nice little scar right there on the cover. This has more of an embossed grain on it than the original verse-by-verse double column does, and I think that is an attempt at tool lines there. I'm pretty sure. It's just not very deep, but it does have the perimeter stitching. It is a nice thick cover, and it is good and floppy. So if you like a floppy Bible, then you're going to like this one. So now let's get to a point in this text, page 271, and then let's go to the wide margin, also on page 271, and you will see that just like the CSB wide margin and the former Pastor's Bible, which is a paragraph format, is the same, you're going to see that the verse-by-verse double column is also the same. They're paginated the same, also minus the accents. So you're going to have at the end of Psalms your same pastoral helps, and then at the end of your Bible, you're going to have your same pastoral care articles. So let's talk shop a little bit. Okay, this is a animal skin liner, very nice and floppy. Perimeter gold lines look very good. The corners look pretty nice on this. Of course, it's going to be edge lined. And what's really interesting about Holman is they do a little something different every time they make a premium Bible. Now this one has a little bit of bleed over right there from the art gilding, which isn't a big deal on this page, but they also have an extra end sheet to where, for example, on this one, they glued it completely, no extra end sheet. On this one, they glued it completely, no extra end sheet. So they're a bit all over the place in their construction, but they are all constructed very well. I also found it interesting that the original verse by verse has goatskin leather cover. This one does not have that written on there, but this is a goatskin leather cover, and it is quite nice. It's a little bit thick, but when you get into the text block, this is a 36 GSM Bible paper. It is very nice. Of course, it's line matched at 9.75 font, corner references. Basically the exact same thing that you're going to see in this verse by verse. It is the exact same text block. Also, one big difference is a big complaint about the original verse by verse is that the art gilding wasn't very dark. Check that out. That has been addressed on this one. That is some dark art gilding. So they did a very good job. Also on the original, I added these ribbons. It had more dinky ribbons. This one has more of those nice ribbons, as does the brown goat skin one. And this one has the nicer ribbons once they moved into the Holman Handcrafted Collection. This is a black letter text. So when you get into the New Testament, the words of Christ are going to be in black. And one thing I noticed about this one is it's a little speckledy on the edges here. I don't know if that's a problem with the entire run, but I would say it's probably unique to mine. Another thing I noticed about this one is the text block fits kind of tight on the cover. See how this has like a generous yap and that perimeter gilt line has a little bit of space, to where this one, it's sitting right on top of it. And then when you get to the top part, look at that, it's covering it up. So they probably should have went a little bit bigger on the cover. There's absolutely no top and bottom yap on this at all. There is a little bit on the side, a little bit more than there is on the top and bottom. So it seems just a touch off to me. But if you're a pastor and you want all your resources in your Bible, you like the verse by verse layout. Say you love this Bible, But you're thinking, I wish it had the pastoral helps and resources in it. Well, you don't have to buy two, because now you can get it all in one Bible. Let's say you like the single column wide margin. And you say, I like the pastoral helps. I'd like to have those in the Bible. Then you can, now this one is not available in the Handcrafted collection. They only have it in their older, cheaper goatskin, so you're not going to get it in that full Handcrafted. I do wonder if they're going to eventually bring this in. I would say probably not, because they went ahead with the verse by verse. But depending on which layout you like for preaching, I actually prefer a paragraph format for preaching. So I would lean more toward this one. But for those of you that like a verse by verse, this is a great option. It has all your resources in it, all your weddings and funerals and everything right there, all your articles. So you have it all in a single volume, and now in two different options, in paragraph format and verse by verse. So there you have it. Keep calm. Jesus on. This is your Nichols Worth.